Hello and welcome to episode 141 of First Geek 411. I'm your host, Cameron Franklin, and with me, as always, our North correspondent, Chris Nicolay. Chris, how are you doing today?
Although I think our other person's farther north than me, but I'm
Chris,
doing
that
good.
was the joke I was going to get to.
Oh,
You ruined it.
I'm sorry. You have to prep me for those ones. Otherwise, I'm going to call you out.
Okay, touche.
But I'm doing good.
And all the way from the far north, the hoot and howl herself. Shanine, how are you?
Hello. Not as cold as 3 hours south of us that had snow today.
Yes.
Y'all had snow?
Yes.
Not us.
Oh, not y'all, but like in the general area.
It snowed in our mountains, at least. It didn't snow in town, but I was up in the mountains today. This morning. And
Nice.
it's cold.
It was not cold in Texas today, in case you're wondering.
Oh, I was.
I mean,
And so,
sounds about right.
yeah, we did not have snow. Can confirm.
I mean, for us, Texas never gets cold, period.
Touche. You win this round.
Just because you have to wear a jacket doesn't mean I'm going to.
Yeah. We can't all be wearing hoodie t-shirts. So
I love this shirt. I don't know why. It's really comfortable. It's comforting, okay?
this week we're going to be chatting Mario's 35th anniversary, some Carol Baskin news, some latest in NVIDIA, and then a bit of Magic the Gathering. And of course, we'll wrap up the show with our top 3 events we wish we would have witnessed. But before we get into that, our social media is One Geek 411 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our PlayStation community. You can join our Discord server to chat between podcasts and shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Then you can check out our show notes on our website, onegeek411.com. And then you can be like our awesome chat and watch live at 7:15-ish Mountain Time. And then we hang out for some post-show chats as well. And then you can catch the videos later, as well as a certain thing that will get referenced in what we've been up to over on our YouTube by searching for One Geek 411. Then, of course, you can rate and subscribe wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. This past week has been a great week. What all have we been up to? Chris, why don't you go first?
So I watched The Boys season 2. It's only like 4 episodes. 3? Maybe it's only 3. I don't know. It's pretty fast. And it's pretty intense because it's The Boys. But I feel like first season was definitely more intense. A lot more happening. I was a little disappointed it was so short. Like, oh.
Well, they're getting released weekly now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
So
they
they
release 3, and then the next 5
Oh,
weeks are
thank
getting
God.
released.
Because, I
weekly.
mean, it did feel like the overall arc in the first 3 episodes is its own thing. So
Yeah.
I was like, what is
No,
this?
there's more. Don't worry.
I mean, I get
Chris.
streaming platforms get to play with the standard television format, but I mean, I was hoping it'd be like a Netflix thing where it's like, oh, well, this is actually technically half season. We'll do the half in like 3 months. I was like, okay, I can do that. I hadn't gotten around to researching how it's going to be yet, though. So thanks for now. I don't have to. Perfect. I also have been playing some more Pokemon Go. I just hatched a perfect Phoebus.
Nice.
Yeah, so now I have a shiny melodic. Now I just got to get that Phoebus evolved into a perfect melodic. Perfect. Yes. It's my second perfect in the game, so it's not a good game. I also today I decided to start streaming Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, you did.
Legend of the Seven Stars. I probably don't have that subtitle right now, but something along like that. It is one of my all-time favorite SNES games. Just a solid throwback back when Squaresoft was still in partnership with Nintendo, and has some very, very good classic. Although playing on a SNES controller is tough. D-pads I'm not used to D-pads. D-pads suck. D-pads were eliminated for a reason. That is all I am saying. And I have downloaded and started Fall Guys, but it is going to be exclusively a streaming or online play with friends game because that game is rage-inducing if you're just playing alone, because no one's there to laugh with you. So it's just you just get mad at yourself.
You know what Jesus said?
Sucks to suck, and it does. It really does, because when you're sucking alone, especially, there's no comedic value to it.
Very good point.
Yep. But and yeah, and then I also started, I'm doing the audiobook first, and then I'll read the actual book when my copy gets here. For our book club book. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. He is a sir, right? He's a knight. Was he knighted?
I don't know.
I don't know. Or is it just Arthur Conan Doyle? I'm pretty sure it's Sir, isn't it?
Let's see what the internet has to say.
I don't. Getting really technical here.
It is, according to Wikipedia, it is Sir.
Okay, so he has to be knighted. Okay. But yeah, that's about it. I have not watched Mulan yet because I haven't been paid, and I'm just baiting on if I'm going to wait till December, but we'll see. I do really want to watch it. That's about it, though. That's what I've been up to.
Janine, what about you?
Well, we were streaming Fall Guys this week, and I finally got my first crown.
And people can find a video of that over on our YouTube.
It's very exciting. Fall Mountain. I crushed it. I have no words.
You just got in the zone.
I did. Usually I am like only halfway up by the time somebody's won the crown on that one already. So it was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how people are good at that game. Like,
I don't think it's a matter of being good. You just have to be better than everyone else.
just lucky too.
Yes.
Like, there is a surprising amount of luck in that game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I like the egg drop game. The team games. The one where you have to grab the eggs and put them in your basket.
You're a monster.
Your opinions on Fall Guys, Chris.
Yeah. So for the listeners, Chris said that his best level is Slime Climb, which is like objectively the hardest level in the game. And you just said that Egg Scramble is your favorite game, like favorite team game.
Yeah.
Chris, we're gonna have words.
Okay, unpopular opinions. I'm forming them.
Chris, you've made your stance on Egg Scramble well known.
It's a very limited. I'm only like level 3. Okay, I have very limited experience in this game.
Oh man, I kind of want to log out.
Okay, that's our episode this week.
That's our show for this week.
Thanks for tuning in.
I'm just done.
I've had the Slime Climb for like half of my starting games. And I usually finish in the top 10.
Usually only like 10 people finish. So,
I mean, I guess so. I don't know. Like, I finished the course typically is what I should say, because I guess it's more of an elimination game too. But I don't know. I don't mind it. It's fine. You just go.
It's terrible. No, you can't just go. People are pushing you and grabbing you, and things are making you fall over, and you can't stand up, and you get pushed into the slime. And Chris it's the worst.
Maybe I'm just really good at pushing others, and I just get ahead, and then no one can push me. I don't know.
Seriously.
Hi.
No. Okay. Moving on. And my RPG group met for our Star Wars campaign this week, which we haven't been able to meet for a few sessions, so it was good.
Do you have a Baby Yoda character?
No.
Lame.
A little bit.
One of my friends for D&D has designed a special class to or modded a class to be Baby Yoda, and it's funny because it has the drawbacks of being Baby Yoda in that you can exhaust yourself and pass out.
Sometimes you just need a nap. Baby Yoda is us in 2020.
True.
What's your character for the Star Wars RPG?
I am a Bothan pilot. So we're doing a space travel last session, and it was only it would have been a day-long trip at normal speeds, and it was incredibly dangerous and never before attempted to make a hyperspace jump to where we were going in such a short distance. And I did it anyways, and I crushed it. And then I tried to land and almost crashed. So just got a little overconfident in my skills.
But you made the jump, and that seems like what counts.
Yes, exactly. First person to do it. So
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I like it. For me, I took the past couple days off because I had time off to burn before the end of my year at the company, or anniversary at the company. And so with Shanine, Chunk the Hut in chat, Isaac from the Infinity Bros, and hello Domo Arigato, we played a bunch of Fall Guys. I think Shanine, Justin, and I put in 12 hours of Fall Guys over 3 days.
I mean,
or something like that.
You were on most of my work day, so
yeah.
I tried to be on, and then next thing I know, you're level 30 something. I'm like, what is this? And then after I started playing, I'm like, he has to have played a lot because I just put in 2 hours and I'm only level 3.
Yeah. I love Fall Guys, and so I'm super hyped for season 2.
It's the only reason I downloaded it.
Yeah, I should have no trouble hitting level 40 before this season ends, so I can get that trophy as well. But yes, played so much Fall Guys. Also, during that time, all that was streamed, and so that was a ton of fun getting the chat with everybody. If you are a new listener that came during those streams, welcome. I hope you're here and having fun. And then also during that, I streamed getting The Last of Us Part 2 Platinum. And so I now have that complete. So that was really exciting. And then during that time off, I was also able to guest on the 90s First podcast, chatting about Jurassic Park. And so that should be up, and people can go and find that. So shout out to them as well. We'll have links in the show notes and all that stuff afterwards. And then I saw Mulan. We went and got it and watched it. My general take is that they should have distanced themselves more from the animated movie. I feel like the best parts of the movie were when they were not trying to be the animated movie. And some of the worst parts are when they're just kind of doing stuff because it was in the animated movie.
I can see that.
So
we can do a deep dive in the actual lore of Mulan.
Yeah, I'd found it and I got sent a link to it over in Discord. There's a person who did I guess they're Chinese, and so they did a deep dive into a lot of what was going on in the movie and what was accurate to ancient Chinese culture and what wasn't. And so I have no clue if they're actually I don't think they're a historian, but based on their tag is Chinese history educational memer. So I don't think they're legit, but they had some very good takes. And so I really enjoyed that. I'm going to drop a link to that in our Twitch chat right now. And then encourage people. I'll throw a link to that in the show notes as well.
Should mention that story has also been modded over like centuries.
Right.
So, I mean, so like the most modern version is typically what we're like the movie's most closely related to, in a sense.
Yeah.
But still not. If you do want, I think Myths and Legends podcast just did a cool episode on it. At least on like the 1600s version of the story. But then like is like also one of their first episodes. Like episode 4 would have also been like their like going as far back into the Mulan story as possible. He did an episode on it too. So they're also great. I love listening to Myths and Legends.
And then the last thing, or the last major thing, is that last night we went to the drive-in theater with one of our listeners and his wife. And so that was a lot of fun. Let's see if I can. So on top of seeing a cool movie at the drive-in, Greg 3D printed out for me a little trophy, and it's got a D20 on the top, and then a little ice frog. And so we've been talking about these over in our Discord. And so shout out to that. Audio listeners, that won't make any sense, but I showed things on my video camera. So that was really cool. And we went and saw New Mutants, which was indeed a movie. And so I'll say it is not the worst X-Men movie. I think it is a better movie than Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. But I really enjoy small scale superhero movies. Like I get tired of the like every movie is a cosmic threat kind of thing. So like to use other X-Men movies, like you have Apocalypse, then you have the Phoenix Force, then you have like just like that type of stuff. Like that kind of wears on me. And I tend to like the movies more where they reset the status quo some. So like on top of it being a great movie, like that's one of the reasons I really like Black Panther.
Is that like seeing heroes be heroes, not necessarily saving the world, but just
right. And so
taking care of their community, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I really enjoyed the small setting of New Mutants, that it's all in this basically clinic. There's really only 6 people in the movie. Like there's not a lot of extras. Like there's some, but there's not a ton. So I really enjoyed that. I can definitely see how that's something that people wouldn't like, but and like I guess like my overall review is that it felt like the pilot for a TV series. Like it really felt like it was just getting going and then it was over. And so it seems like there probably was a need for like another like 30 minutes of content there. And that's probably what we would have gotten in reshoots. But we didn't. So, but like I said, overall, I enjoyed it. I don't necessarily know if I would recommend people to go see it in theaters. Like I would probably just wait for it to eventually end up on the streaming platforms. But I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it again at some point.
It's like one of my favorite things about our podcast is like we don't just like, I mean, it's rare for us to just flat out like bash a movie, but like our default response is it's a movie.
Yeah. It is indeed a film.
It's a feature length and it's a standalone thing.
Yeah. If you've seen it, whether Mulan or New Mutants, let us know. We'd be happy to, at least I would be happy to chat about them because I don't care about spoilers because I've seen them both. But those are the things that we've been up to this past week. And so it is time to get into the news, starting as always with video games. We got a bunch of Super Mario's news because it's Mario's 35th anniversary. And unlike Luigi's birthday, where all we got was a t-shirt, we're getting games. And so I have a question for y'all. Could I interest you in one remaster of a Super Mario game?
No.
What about 2 remasters of a Super Mario game?
No.
Whoa, I'm going to need you to calm down, Chris. Because what if we had 3 remasters of a Super Mario games and they were all in one package?
What? No.
And they were only available till March 31st. But, that's a whole nother thing.
That's so weird. But there's... I don't want to talk about the remakes or the remasters or what they are porting onto the Switch. There is one piece in the 35th anniversary direct that I am stoked about, or it's just really cool. It's a really cool use of technology, and that is the what are they calling it? Home circuit. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Did you see this part?
This is amazing.
This is crazy. But let's finish talking about the 3D World remakes.
Yeah. So we're getting Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which will have Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Noticeably, there is a 4th 3D Super Mario game, Galaxies 2, which is not included in this. But have you all played Sunshine, 64, or Galaxy?
Definitely played 64. Janine's like, no.
I don't know. I'm a pretty baby gamer, so I might have played some at a friend's house once, but
Sunshine, I think, is the most underrated of these.
Yeah.
I never played Galaxy, but
I played a little bit of Galaxy because I was helping my brother with a boss, and that's kind of my only experience with that. But I love 64. I mean, it's that's definitely not a hot take when 64 is considered one of the best 3D platformers ever.
I mean,
but
it was the first. I mean,
right.
It has a certain preservational value just in that it was the first of its kind.
And it's got penguins
that you can murder.
Don't murder the penguins, Chris.
Don't.
And so
it was an accident, okay?
It was an accident. Then we also got Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So another Wii U game that did not do great because the Wii U didn't do great. And so being ported with a little bit of extra content onto the Nintendo Switch. We got the Game & Watch Super Mario game / clock. I don't they pushed it being a clock really hard, and that really confused me.
This is
I was like, and then we also got Super Mario Bros. 35, which is a Mario Battle Royale that will only be available until March 31st. And so, but basically, whenever you kill an enemy, they then go to another player's screen, and they now have to deal with them. Similar to Tetris 99.
Right.
And so, and then we got some in-game content for stuff like Animal Crossing, that kind of stuff, Smash Bros. And the Super Mario All-Stars, or 2D All-Stars, are coming to Nintendo Switch through the SNES Classic stuff, whatever that was called. But, so Mario Kart. This is amazing.
Yes. So Mario Kart Live Home Circuit is a actual physical cart, or set of carts, that you get to drive around your living room. And so it uses some technology and whatnot to make it sets up a track based on your living room. And as you drive it on in game, you're actually driving a actual car throughout your home, which is the coolest thing. So they're obviously using certain programming values and stuff like that to actually slow down your vehicle should you get hit by a shell or something along those lines, and everything. And I just love this. This is just fascinating, and it's a crazy use of technology because this is coming to the Switch. Switch is not a powerful piece of software or hardware, but it is doing, or something's doing so much of this. And I think you could also play it online. So essentially someone else would be driving another car in your house. So someone else could be Luigi's car. But yeah, they're actual, like,
Somebody
Mario
else can be
Karts.
second player. Got
And
it.
there's a little camera. Yeah, exactly. Little camera that comes up just above their heads, and that's ultimately that's your view in the game. And yeah, it will essentially after, like, you use the camera to kind of show the house, and then it will generate a track based on the conditions and everything, and let you play Mario Kart with real carts.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is like, I mean, I feel like I've said that like 5 times, but like this definitely seems like something that like young Cameron or Cameron with kids would be all over. And yeah, I'm super excited. I want to see how well this works. Like, I'm super curious about that. Also, the thing that scares me is that Nintendo doesn't necessarily always have the best online functionality.
Right.
And so, like, there's a really solid chance that one of the cars just like disconnects or like starts drifting to one side. And you know,
It's like my Joy-Con drift is affecting my actual car.
right.
But now what I want to see is I want them to use this kind of technology in like EV carts, like the setup. Like, I want a company now take this kind of thing to set up like a heads-up display for targeting in an electrical vehicle cart situation, to where you can actually play Mario Kart with, like, in real carts.
Yeah. I think the modder community will love these.
Yes. But yeah, now you're also going to be, yeah, like, also they're mentioning it, like, just go full on Tokyo Drift in our chat and everything. There are going to be, like, obviously, this is not going to play like a standard Mario Kart game. You're dealing with real world physics now. Like, how your cart reacts is completely determinate. Like, it is something that you could probably get better at easily, more, or like have a better understanding of what to expect if you're like an RC car person. Some people are crazy with those RC cars. But I want to see more of this. I want to see more things like this of just, and this is something that's set to do well just because it's Mario Kart.
Right. The IP is just super recognizable.
Yep.
And so.
Yep. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what this can turn into, like what people are going to take this technology and do next with it.
I agree. But I think it is time for us to jump into movies, TV, and entertainment with what is perhaps the most exciting news. And Shanine, do you want us to lead us into this hype train?
Sure. Okay, so Dancing with the Stars has gone through some upsets in the past couple of years, with asking some of their most popular dancers not to return and firing Tom Bergeron because reasons. And now this season, in even more shocking news, one of their celebrity dancers is Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. I'm so interested in this.
I'm a little bit horrified.
Is she like gonna growl or like purr in like all of her dances or something? She's got.
So we were
she's gonna be
discussing-
in like a cat attire for like every episode.
So we were discussing song choices. So we have to have Eye of the Tiger. And then the other option was Man Eater. Got brought up.
You just do a lot of the music from Cats.
Yes.
pick any number from the musical.
I'm so like obviously like this is a marketing move for both her and for Dancing with the Stars, and it probably worked on me. I mean, like I don't think I'm going to tune in live, but I am hyped to watch this on YouTube after the fact.
I think who it's going to attract are the Gen Zs. You know, like they're all about the irony in anything like this.
Welcome to the Jungle. Justin mentioned that in chat.
Yep.
Good call out. That's a great song.
Or Skull Rose Gaming, that one song from the Aristocrats movie. I mean,
yeah,
all of them, any of them, it's just all cat related.
Everybody wants to be a cat.
Yes, that one. I can't remember that. I was like, I know what they're talking about. I can't remember what like the actual.
Maybe a number from The Lion King, you know.
Man, there's so many good choices.
It's a lot of options.
I'm so interested. I hope there's a part of me that hopes that that she is an amazing dancer. Then there's also a part of me that hopes this is like the most like cringe-inducing thing ever. Like I want one of those extremes.
I'm leaning more towards the last one.
Yeah. That seems a little bit more likely. Also, she has to say, hey, they're all you cool cats and kittens at least once. But
I'm sure that's in the contract.
You pay extra for the catchphrase. Oh, man.
Who's
Then we
mowing?
also got some news of the Tokyo Olympics. What do you got for us, Janine?
They announced that it is 100% going forward next July, COVID or no COVID.
COVID or no COVID? Jeez.
So, I mean, ultimately, like, it means they're going to be putting on their, at least the competitive aspect. But whether or not they'll have people traveling to participate as a member of the audience is a whole other question. They're going to put all the Olympic, just like the NBA did, they're going to put all the Olympians in a bubble. Get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited that this is at least going to happen. I'm really curious to how.
I just want to see Mario run the hurdles. You know? I'm just like I'm ready to see what Tokyo, because they like their entire thing from the previous Olympics was they brought Mario out. They had like this like don't know what these video games have to do with the Olympics, but I'm ready to see how they're incorporating it.
Yeah. Do we have a favorite Olympic event? Regardless of season.
Regardless
Fall
of season?
Or summer or winter.
I think being Canadian, we just kind of automatically go for the winter sports more. It's like hockey.
Big fan of curling.
I really enjoy watching the figure skating.
Mm-hmm.
The speed skaters are really, like, what is this? They're so fast.
For summer, I do like the speed walkers, though.
So I knew someone who was an Olympic speed walker.
I like the biking events, like the indoor track cycling that they do. I don't know. That track is just cool. I don't know why.
I like a lot of the ones where people have to do multiple things, which kind of like sits into my like every sport would be better if it had more dodgeball. But so like one of my favorites is the one Emma called out in chat, skiing ones. So it's one of the ones I really like is the one where they ski and then have to shoot things and then ski to the next thing and then shoot more things. I like that one. I don't know what that's called. It's the one where they ski and shoot. I don't name the things. I pretty like ironically got into curling like last Winter Olympics.
Is that the one where they do shoot? I mean, I think shooting's in the I don't know.
So yeah, then like I said, I kind of ironically got into curling and then got way too into curling to where like it, like in classic like millennial Gen Z thing, it like stopped being ironic and I started to be like super into the strategy of how curling works, to the point that like I was in Connecticut at the time and was like looking up if I could go curling somewhere. Like and then I'm a big fan of the gymnastics stuff. Just because I it's just this like I feel like the events for gymnastics are so weird, but we've kind of just like come to know them and they're just kind of normal. But like the balance beam, the like parallel bars and like that kind of stuff. It's like this is just a weird event, but we're just used to it. And so we're gonna watch these people flip around this beam and try not to fall. And so Skull Rose Gaming in chat says the skiing shooting is the biathlon. So
okay. Yeah.
But
that sounds right.
But yeah, so I don't know. Also anything X Gamesy. So like winter sports wise, like the downhill half pipe stuff. Like that kind of thing. Anything where there's danger, I guess, is maybe where I'm actually going. And then curling, because curling doesn't, really have danger. But
I mean, yeah. I like the diving. Those things are mostly also the pictures that come out of diving.
So
best memes ever.
Skull Rose Gaming got me in chat. Says with Corona, every event is danger.
Very true.
So,
Oh, rugby's a Olympic sport. I like rugby.
Yeah.
So much better than football.
And I'll say in general, I like team sports where one part of the world takes it really seriously and then like other parts of the world don't, but they just happen football? To have a team. So like we see it a lot with basketball where you'll have like the US basketball team is like 1.5 feet taller than this other country. And it's just like, it happened. But, yeah. Next up, we got some Hugo Weaving news.
Yes. So, just because anytime something comes up regarding the Amazon series, I have to talk about it. But Hugo Weaving is adamant and has indicated he wouldn't be caught dead in those pointy ears ever again, and will not be playing Elrond in the new Lord of the Rings series. Which is sad because I think he did a great job. But
he was an actor.
I mean, he did a good job in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I mean, he did come back to reprise his role. But when asked if he would be reprising his character of Elrond in the Amazon series, he said, no way, absolutely no. But he is open to playing the villainous Agent Smith again in The Matrix 4. So I guess he just doesn't like being Elrond anymore.
Yeah.
He's over that one. But ultimately now that just leaves the question, who would make a good Elrond for the upcoming series? And we're talking, so ultimately we'd be looking at probably a younger Elrond in a sense. Granted, elves don't technically really age because Middle Earth rules. I don't know. But I wonder who could replace Hugo Weaving as Elrond?
Okay, I hope you're ready for this. This is the correct answer. Dwayne The Rock, future president of the United States, Johnson. Checkmate.
I'm sorry, but no. No.
It would be an interesting take, at least.
I think he'd make a better dwarf. Just use some of those camera tricks to make him look shorter.
Or he's just the tallest dwarf. Just have him be like his normal height and
Or have him play Aragorn. Aragorn. Brain's dead. Aragorn. Or another ranger. But no, we're probably going to be a lot earlier than that. But I have no idea. I actually kind of hope they stick to, like, outside of... I know others are going to be reprising their roles. Potentially. Granted, nothing's like Galadriel and Sauron will likely be main characters in the upcoming series as well, or at least good supporting characters. So whether or not they'll be reprised by their previous actors, I mean, they've got the budget for anyone, so they spent enough money on this. But yeah, we'll be in the second age with this show, and I kind of want them to just pick someone new. Like, I don't want a ton of recognizable people in this.
I agree.
For the most part.
I don't think they can do like some of the same. They either have to be all the same or all new.
I agree.
Or, wait for it, Dwayne The Rock, future president of the United States, Johnson,
all
plays
roles.
every role.
Everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
Technically an option.
That is technically a choice they are allowed to make.
You'd also have to agree.
I'd be so happy.
But yeah, so he has completely said no, so we will not be seeing Hugo Weaving ever again as Elrond. It's a little sad.
It is sad.
He did a good job as Elrond.
Yeah. Chris, we got a little bit of anime news. What do you got for us?
So, do you guys know what Shenmue is? I know I've talked about it on this podcast before. So Shenmue was originally a game that was released. It was an IP that was released on the Sega Dreamcast.
RIP.
And it was, like, for its time, it was one of the most graphically beautiful games to exist. They have created additionals, and Shenmue 3 was recently released this past year or something like that. And graphics did not keep up, or it looks like the graphics from the Dreamcast still. Not the best. But they have announced that Shenmue will be having a 13-episode anime series based on the video game series coming to Crunchyroll and Adult Swim in 2021. And I'm all for this. It was also a great story. Kind of just a classic, I mean, Japanese culture kind of thing. I hope they do it a lot of justice. I mean, it wasn't like crazy action based or anything like that. Nothing like overly fantastical in the game. So, I mean, it's going to almost probably feel like a drama in a sense. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this anime. And they have Sakurai Chikara, who directed season 2 of One Punch. Probably could have gotten someone better, but I just have mixed feelings about that season 2
of One
okay,
Punch.
I just have mixed feelings about season 2. She is set to direct the series. and it will be animated by Telecom Animation. And yeah, so it is set to be on Crunchyroll and air on Adult Swim. And yeah, and so I should mention Shenmue 3 was officially released in 2019. But I like when we get things like this that are probably a better modern adaptation than just trying to continue the video game franchise.
Yeah.
At times.
I mean, I think judging by the critical reception of that game, doing just about anything other than Shenmue 4 seems like a good idea.
Game was hideous. Shenmue 3 comparatively, it's like Shenmue 1 cutting edge, well ahead of its time. Then we get Shenmue 3, looks like it was designed for the PS2. Very disappointed. Sorry. I didn't even buy it. I just saw some screenshots. I was like, nope.
Just got sad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, why'd you have to do that? But yeah, Dreamcast game was phenomenal. So yeah, but more anime too. Just always hyped for more anime.
Let's get into our favorite named segment.
Dongle news.
Dongle news.
It's a good stinger. So before we get into Dongle news, there's been a bunch of memes going around of, because I know like we have NVIDIA stuff on our notes to talk about. There's been lots of memes of people using NVIDIAs as like sized up, but as air conditioners this week. Of their I guess it's their GPUs. I don't know how computers work, but I guess because they have fans on them. This was a lot funnier in my head when I knew how computers worked, and then now that I've had to say it, it's not going great.
Okay,
so Chris.
So with that
What
lead,
you got for us this week?
So this past week, NVIDIA did announce their new lineup of GPUs, their 30 lineup. So they announced the 3080 price, and this is also, we should mention, these are cheaper than previous generation card or last gen cards, so the 20 series. And ultimately, this is a response to console prices. No, they will not disrupt the console industry. Sorry. But they do want to sell, and also they are promising, at least over previous generation, up to 2 times performance improvement. So the 3080 is going to be twice as good and efficient as the 2080, essentially. But they've also announced a kind of it's not their TI series yet. It's just they're yeah, we're going to make this one. It's called their 3090, which is going to be a $1,400 GPU. But it's a beast. It's supposed to support up to 8K at 60 frames per second of gaming. Don't know who can afford 8K monitors, much less 8K monitors with refresh rates at 60 to above 60 hertz. But yeah, these are crazy numbers. And yes, the memes that are going around are as a result because these are also larger cards than they've ever made.
Okay.
We've seen double stacks. These cards might be triple stacked. So essentially, looking at the back of your computer case, you have toward the bottom, typically you'll see slots where you can have expansion cards that you'll install. One of these GPUs will take up to 3 slots of that instead of the standard 2 for their cooler and stuff. They have massive coolers. It's just these cards are crazy. We should mention the RTX 3080 is priced at $699, which is a really well priced flagship card, and the 3070 is set to be priced at what was it? $499. Which is a really great price, especially if you are just looking to get a really modern graphics card. Any of these cards are going to ultimately run any game at 1080 at well above any refresh rate you can purchase. Or that's what I'd project. Granted, we're getting 360 hertz monitors, which don't even get me into. I know you guys don't know what I'm saying, and I'm sorry. But
I heard hertz monitors.
But these are massive. So the 3090 is set to have 24 gigabytes of DDR6 RAM. That's a lot of RAM for just a card. But we're seeing those numbers climb up and everything. But yeah, so I mean, in terms of computer upgrades, this is the lineup. For those of you that bought 2080s or the 20 series last year, sorry. You overspent, and now everyone that waited is getting. And also, we should mention, so ray tracing is becoming more common, so that's where the RTX lineup comes in. Even Fortnite is getting ray tracing compatibility.
Fortnite gonna Fortnite.
I'm sorry. Against. It just makes me laugh. It's not a game that needs ray tracing support. But yeah, so I mean, we might look at getting you one of these, Cameron, or a 3060 when they release that. But these are set to come out this October, and yeah, but it's also just. This is great because we also got the announcement as a result of this that AMD's GPU lineup or flagship lineup will also, they're going to be dropping the launch prices on those. Obviously, this is going to allow those who are interested in PC gaming to have a more entry-level price to get started for high-performance items. So this is going to allow PC gaming to better compete against their console counterparts that are promising 4K gaming at a very budget-friendly price, and also the promise of AAA titles. I don't think, obviously, PC gaming will never eliminate console gaming because of the console portion, because of the AAA titles are typically being designed for home consoles to start with, and then brought over the PC for those performance and modding people. Yeah. They're big. They're pretty. They're expensive. PC gaming.
PC gaming.
I don't even think my console could fit one of these. My PC case. I got a pretty big card in there already. PC Master Race. I mean, true, but otherwise, also we got Intel's new gosh, is this 10th generation? Yes, maybe. Sorry, no, Intel's on 11th generation, and just to go along with pop culture, what do you think they're called their new chip lineup?
I mean, I can see the notes.
Oh, so did I put it in the notes? Darn it! I'm not
Unless
looking
you
at the
lied
notes
to
right
me
now.
in the notes, Chris.
I lied to you in the notes. No, I'm just
Tiger Lake.
Yes, Tiger Lake. Perfect name for a 2020 product. I mean, we did just talk. I would have probably referenced, if I didn't have it in the notes, I probably would have referenced something we talked about earlier. Being Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
Tiger Lake. But in general, so you should know, if you're ever talking about Intel series CPUs, it's always something like I think mine's Skylake.
Did they have Coffee Lake, or was that
Coffee Lake is a Intel chip lineup series. Yes.
I just remember being really confused to why there was a lake of coffee.
I mean, I wouldn't
Makes
complain.
more sense than a lake of tigers.
But a lot less dangerous. So, if I had to watch one at the Olympics, I would watch Tiger Lake over Coffee Lake. So,
True. Intel, along with this announcement, is also kind of they are purporting like performance over efficiency at this point. So they have not followed AMD's in AMD's footsteps and gone to a smaller architecture such as the 7 nanometers. They are still developing at the larger, I think it's a 10 nanometer or 11 nanometer construction for their chipsets. We won't get into that because I'll bore everyone. But they have also launched a new certification program called Intel Evo. Essentially, this is going to go on Intel 11th generation laptops that meet certain requirements put in place by their teams. Essentially, an Evo certified laptop is going to have 9 hours of real world use of battery life for a laptop. It's got to have like Thunderbolt 4 ports, or utilize Thunderbolt 4 over Thunderbolt 3, and a few other things. It has to, and they are putting the certification on ultimately for producers and developers or creators, that these are offering a more seamless video editing or production experience. So, I mean, if we ever need to upgrade laptops for us, we might have to look for that certification. Nah, that's going to cost too much money. But yeah, so lots of new tech coming in. But so as we mentioned, AMD's dropping their prices on their flagship GPUs. We'll see how they respond overall to the Intel news and what that does for their competitive placement currently, because AMD is kind of king just in terms of pricing and overall costs. So Intel is trying to respond by offering, I guess, performance incentives, showing that they are still kings of performance, I think is their goal here. But AMD did announce something, and they are getting into, I guess, transportation in a sense. What do you think they are developing for the transportation world?
Did you lie to me in the show notes?
Sorry, I meant that as biz.
Oh.
So just know that's not what it is. It's not a bus.
Okay, because you had transportation bus in the notes, and I was like,
it is
I'm
not a
guess
bus.
A
so
bus.
process of elimination, not a bus, as I have outlined in the notes by accident. I meant biz.
If I had to guess, they are going to be helping with traffic.
Okay.
As in traffic camera type stuff.
What do you think they're doing, Janine?
Planes.
Janine's probably a little closer, but they're actually making bikes. Bicycles. AMD has announced a lineup of 2 bicycles, one mountain bike, and one just like cruiser bike, casual cruising bike. No prices yet on these bikes. But I mean, they're pretty well spec'd from what we've seen so far in terms of like well equipped. The mountain bike is a full suspension bike equipped with, I think, 21 gears and Shimano grade equipment. Shimano being one of the major bike component manufacturers. This is the most why does everyone want to make a bicycle? Because I'm pretty sure we talked about a car company making a bicycle too. I
feel like that's closer though.
I mean, that one's so much closer than
you're in the same industry.
A computer chip manufacturer making a bicycle. I almost want to buy this just because I need a new bike anyway, right? But yes, just random bit of news from kind of all 3 major CPU chip manufacturers, Intel, NVIDIA, and AMD. Just had to touch on all 3 of them. I kind of dug for the bike thing because I just wanted to talk about AMD. But that is Dongle news.
means it's now time for the tangibles. This week, we're chatting Magic the Gathering. We're going to go kind of quick just for the sake of what next week's show will be. But right after we did our recording last week, we got announcement day, which is one of the best days of the year. And during this time, Wizards of the Coast announced their 2021 Magic sets, as well as some stuff for Zendikar Rising. But so Q1, we're going to Kaldheim, which is Viking-themed world, finally happening, winter everywhere. Then we're going to Strixhaven, the School of Mages, similar but legally distinct from Harry Potter. Then we're going on the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, because we're officially getting a black-bordered D&D set in Magic the Gathering. And so we've had crossovers the other way in the past, where we've had D&D books based on Magic properties. Now we're getting Magic cards based on D&D.
I like this direction too. About time we started, because I've been waiting for it to go this way. Like, I love the D&D sets based on MTG worlds, but I'd also like to build a D&D, just straight up D&D deck for Commander.
And then we also got the announcement that we're somehow going to have 2 winter sets next year, where we're going to have Innistrad werewolves and then Innistrad vampires, not final names. But we're going to have 2 full sets focused on the spooks for fall of next year. So
Sounds fitting.
Yeah. And then we're getting a Masters, or 2 supplementary products, I guess, where we're getting Time Spiral Remastered, which will take Time Spiral block and condense it into one set. And then we're getting Modern Horizon 2, which will have the 5 enemy fetch lands in it. So shout out to that.
Good
Those
reprints.
cards are expensive.
Good reprints.
But those...
Is Kaldheim going to have gods?
Unclear. It could.
I hope it does.
I want
Like-
a Thor card. I mean, I don't care what else. Like, it's Viking themed. I want Thor.
I want a pirate angel,
A Pirate Angel.
alt art of whatever card they print. A pirate angel version of Thor with Thor from Guardians, or from the end of Ragnarok, actually, right? No, or is that the start of Endgame?
Isn't it Infinity
Or Infinity
War?
Wars? Yeah, sorry, Infinity
Yeah.
War, where he gets picked up by Guardians of the Galaxy. Best line ever. Good news.
Yep. And then, quick announcement. We talked about this last week. Chris mentioned it in his What He's Been Up To. September 24th, here on Twitch, we will be doing our first book club, doing the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And so, have we all started reading? I've started.
I've started. I mentioned that earlier.
I feel like my school reading habits have kicked in again. Just like immediately, it's like, you should read this book, and I'm like, I will put this off as long as I possibly can.
I will read this September 23rd, and not a moment
As long
before.
as while you're procrastinating, you're watching Your Lie in April, I'm okay.
But we do want to say with that, we are using the version from the Literature Project. You're, of course, encouraged to read more, but we're going to specifically be talking about the stories that are in that free version, just since that's what it's easy for everyone to have access to. And so we have some links to what that is on our social media in terms of like the specific stories. But if you read more and you're an overachiever, it will not be discussed on the test.
Should
So-
also say that oftentimes in other platforms, so if you want to do the audiobook, that same version is available as a free audiobook often on audiobook platforms.
Sounds good.
That's how I'm doing it right now.
And it is now time for our top 3. This week, we're going to be chatting about top 3 like iconic events we would like to witness in person. And so we got some social media responses this week. And then, of course, if you're in chat and you were not able to get in a social media response, get good. But you can also post them in chat and we'll discuss them after we go through everything. So over on our Twitter, Justin says, definitely the Death Star blowing up. Then to clarify, be part of the attack on the Death Star and witness it not being on the Death Star. Good clarification. Isaac from the Infinities Bros says, I'd love to be in Frodo's room with him squealing joyfully to see me. And then he goes, for real though, I actually put some thought into it, and he wouldn't want to be present for a battle scene. And he says he'd absolutely love to be in Jurassic Park seeing the dinosaurs for the first time with Alan Grant. And then Scott Higa, the Christian nerd, says, I wouldn't mind being in Bozeman, Montana for first contact with the Vulcans. I was not aware that happened in Bozeman, Montana.
Neither was I. How did I miss that?
Yeah. I would say, I feel like in our friendship, you have let me down by me not knowing that.
I mean, most of the time when people talk about Montana, it's me correcting what they got wrong. Like there is no comedy job. Like when Sheldon flees to Montana on a bus and he shows up in Bozeman, there is no comedy club in Bozeman.
It's just super underground, Chris.
No. Doesn't exist. Was it Far Cry 5?
Sounds right.
That's supposed to be based in Montana. Based on the directions they give in the game, you're in Idaho. Always get it wrong. Always get it wrong.
What do you expect, Chris, when you have no laws?
Touche.
Over on Instagram, Comics in the Cross gives a shout out to kind of what I used as the example, which is Captain America getting Mjolnir at the end of Endgame. And then Nerd Chapel says Jack O'Neill meeting the Asgard for the first time in Stargate SG-1. And then JZ99 says the wedding at the end of The Office. This is definitely a top moment. My man. That is a correct choice. So with that, let's get into our top 3. Chris, you want to start us off this week?
Sure, you ready for me to go pretty in depth with my first one?
Being in Bozeman, Montana, when
being in Bozeman, yeah. So for my first one, I have actually opted for it is in terms of Middle Earth lore. This is kind of a negative, but it turns into a full positive. So the different, so I've chosen the destruction of the 2 trees, Telperion and Laurelin. But more so for the creation of the sun and moon from their last fruits. Cameron's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So Middle Earth essentially goes through 3 lighting sources. When the Earth is first formed, they set the Valar take 2 lanterns and place them on opposite poles. One kind of produces a golden light, the other is silvery blue. Those are ultimately destroyed, and they use those. They then grow 2 trees. 2 trees, as we talk about, coincide also 1 silver, 1 gold. And eventually those end up getting destroyed or poisoned by Malcor and oh man, what is her name? Ungoliant. Essentially ancestor to Sheila, which is the probably better known giant spider being. in the
I know that
series.
one. I got that reference.
Yes, got one. Okay. So they did that, and then when they during destruction, obviously again casting the world into darkness again, they then do create from their last fruit from each of the trees to create the actual sun and moon in Middle Earth as it is known currently, or to most people. Yeah, exactly. Granted, the light of the trees still technically does reside in what they call their cimmerals, which are stones that were crafted. But mostly, I just love this idea from, in general, there's always this rebirth from the destruction. But this one specifically, that from the fruit of these trees, I just love this imagery. From the fruit of these trees, they then cast up and create the sun and the moon to provide light unto the earth. And yeah, just how it is always that destruction. Despite the destruction, there's always a foundation for something new. So that's my first one.
Shanine, what do you got?
All right. My first one is the coronation at Cair Paravel. I just love Narnia so much, and I love Aslan, and the coronation just always is so, I don't know, it's the big party after they win, and it's just good.
So mine also has an animal, arguably more majestic than Aslan. And that is, I would want to attend the Harvest Carnival in Pawnee, Indiana, and meet Lil Sebastian. May his soul rest in peace forever in horsey heaven. But yeah, Lil Sebastian, the best little horse there ever was. I love as a arc just that little Sebastian, how like beloved he is. And man, to be at that Harvest Carnival, if only they would have known it was his last one, they could have done so much more. Sad day. Chris, I'm sorry that I have brought this podcast down, but what is your number 2?
My number 2 is the opening of the spirit realms, or the spirit gates in Korra. Because I don't know, I love the idea that projected, and ultimately with the remaining open, that progressed. Ultimately, the only negative is that she was being manipulated for unsavory purposes, but I think that is the idea behind that, in balancing the spiritual with the physical, and bringing the world further into balance, more so than just between the 4 elements, was really cool. And also, I just like the idea of walking through a portal and being in a whole spirit realm. And also seeing Iroh, because
a man Iroh.
Yeah, that's the main reason. I want to go visit Iroh in the spirit realm. And yeah. And I also just picture Zuko going to visit his uncle after those gates are remaining open.
Yeah. Shanine, what's your number 2?
Okay, mine is the Imperial Ball from Anastasia. At the beginning of the movie, before Rasputin starts killing everybody. But Anastasia is the first movie I saw in theaters, and it's always been one of my favorites. And I love the Romanovs, and like, who doesn't want to go to a fancy ball?
Yeah. So I feel like with that kind of hit some of my like challenge with stuff. Of it was like, it'd be really cool to be at this event until the plot happened. Like one that's on my short list is the like Captain catching Mjolnir. And it's like, that'd be really cool.
Except for you're in this battle.
Right. Like now I'm trying to survive. So like,
do I have powers? Where am I in this scene? Like if I'm present, what am I doing?
Yeah, there's some caveats there. And so my next one does kind of fall in, like it's pretty similar in a sense to Shanine's, and that's the 1994 Quidditch World Cup from the Goblet of Fire, where like this would be really cool to be at until the Death Eaters attacked. So like, you know, you win some, you lose some, but I guess we're like, for my last two, we're getting into the sports themed category, but I just think as someone that like grew up reading Harry Potter, going to those movies, like getting to see the theatrics of the Quidditch World Cup and Port Keen and all that kind of stuff, like be so cool until the Death Eaters attacked. But Chris, what do you got for your number 3?
So I did want to pick one real life event from actual history. And ultimately, because I've been watching way too much sci-fi, I just decided on the 1969 moon landing.
Yeah. Just
be cool. If we'd been to Mars like we were supposed to be by now, I'd pick that. But Elon lied.
Yeah. Elon has not taken us to Mars.
Yet.
Bum, bum, bum. Janine, what's your number 3?
Okay, I had like 7 options from Doctor Who that I'm having a really hard time choosing between.
You can pick a real world event that is presented in Doctor Who. So you can combine the two. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
I mean, I could.
I mean, that is a Doctor Who thing, right? That does happen in Doctor Who, right?
Yes.
He appears on Earth throughout our history and things happen. Yeah.
Yes.
See, I know things about Doctor Who.
I am not going to pick one of those though, and I'm going to pick the 12th Doctor in episode Hellbent, when he is on Gallifrey showing down with the Time Lords, specifically Time Lord President Rassilon. And I don't know, 12 is like my doctor, and I love him so much, and I feel like the Doctor's like such a beloved character for me, and he's not like, he's super powerful when we see him, but we're always comparing him to like humans and stuff, where he's like obviously more powerful and like stuff like that. But when you see him on Gallifrey, like with his people, and he's still like super revered and feared, and you start to understand like just how powerful he actually is, and it's like such a cool moment.
I had a couple Doctor Who ones on my short list for this as well. Like I'm not nearly that far into it, but I say that I'm like 4 seasons in. But like but like in terms of how much there is, I'm not that far into it. But like there's definitely some Doctor Who ones on my short list. But my last one, there had to be an Avatar one. And so that is getting to see pro bending in Republic City, specifically the pro bending match where Korra cheats and bends all 3 elements because she doesn't know the actual rules.
So her first match.
Yeah, basically. And then it gets revealed, of course, that she is the Avatar, and that no one knew that as she had started out and stuff like that. And so I think that that'd be super cool. Again, don't want to be at the finals of that one because Amon attacks and starts tasing people. But like the intro one, that one's a party. So that is our top 3 for events that we wish we could have witnessed. next week, we're going to be taking a break from our regular episodes, and we'll be doing our top 10 cards from Zendikar Rising. So it'll be Chris and I chatting about that. And so look forward to going through and chatting about the new cards. So, and then if you are a listener, we really thank you for being here with us this week as we get ready to head into our post-show chat with our Twitch listeners. And so you can always find us at OneGeek411 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our PlayStation community. You can come and hang out with us in our Discord if you want to chat between shows. And then you can send us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Then you can watch live 7:15 Mountain Time on twitch.tv/1geek411. And you can find the old episodes over on our YouTube, as well as Shanine and I getting our first crowns in Fall Guys. And then you can rate and subscribe on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And then head to our website, onegeek411.com, to find our show notes, as well as our sister podcast, Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust. And then, of course, you can find us on our personal social medias. Mine's Humar Whittle.
I'm not so foreign.
The Hoot and Howl on Twitter and Hoot and Howl Tales, TALES, on Instagram.
It's been a great week.
Wash your hands.
I love you.
I still have to